Dennis is obviously a consummate professional, but he's also incredibly present acting. There's very few actors I've ever acted with that seem so present that there's magic in their eyes. And when Dion calls action, Dennis just subtly changes in terms of physicality. You can tell he goes to a different place, but he's right exactly there as Charlie Peck. And there's something terrifying about that, something exciting about that, and something that draws you in if you allow yourself to be present as well. So Michael and I have a bit of history in acting together, so I knew that we'd have a great dynamic on screen. Mainly for me was listening to Michael, how he was going to present Scott, his character, and how to play against that. So if Scott's going to be a little bit more refined, a little bit confident, knows what he's doing in his world, but maybe a little bit more hesitant as a person, I thought my job would be a little bit looser, a little more gregarious, a little more outgoing, so we would complement each other. It's easy for us to play, and I just think that a lot of people are attracted to people who are like-minded, but that are, it's like a little bit of the opposite, something that would complement. He's doing a classic thriller, a real homage to the throwback of the classic style of thriller. And I mean back from the 50s through the 80s to today. That he's taken certain specific elements that have worked consistently, constantly, made them true, which is his stamp, truth, which is what I appreciate. And I think the audience is going to be in for that ride. It's going to grab them, it's going to suck them in, and the scare is going to be real because they're going to be saying, that could happen to me. So it's very present, and I think that that's transcendent.
This character was delicious. He really was, and for the first part of the film, he's a little bit like the Parent Trap dad. He's a little off, but he's kind of charming and seems very benign, and he's very particular about who he's selling this house to. It's been in his family for 3 generations, and he has a real attachment for it. And but he wants this couple to have it, and they buy it. And Charlie, who's supposed to be going to Florida, who just doesn't quite seem to be able to get in the car and actually go there, he keeps showing up. Dion's a very collaborative filmmaker to begin with, and a very strong director. I mean, I like strong directors because that way I get to just go out there and go crazy, and then I have somebody who, can actually tell me, like, hey, that's way too much, and bring me back something. And but we were able to try everything. I mean, anything, the whole cast, and we had there's a lot of hand-to-hand combat in this, and just setting up those scary reveals and everything was a lot of fun. She's really special because that's a very difficult role to play. The woman in peril that she was, and still have some strength. Instead of letting the man save you all the time. What I liked about him is how interior he is, and that's what made him so perfect for the role, because the character's always trying to make some logic out of the situation, and keep that latent violence tapped down, and playing peacemaker until he just can't anymore. It's like the kind of movie that audiences will scream and talk to the screen, and I myself, in films, I scream like a 6-year-old girl, actually, when I read the script, and then I'm an audience member with a first-time experience just by reading it, and that's what this is delicious. We're gonna really have some fun with this. This is something you have to experience with an audience.